know what the crazy part about life is to me is that typically you always have to start your own trend. You always have to start doing your own thing, and eventually people will follow you. I was sitting here, I was kind of just thinking about like life, right? Just kind of taking a drive, and I realized like a lot of the things I do, people doubt it in the beginning. People don't really see the vision in the beginning, and then as time goes on, then they're like, oh man, I should have hopped on the wave back in, this year, or I should have hopped on the wave when you first started, because I see where you are now, or I see what now is acceptable now. I was thinking about how people, like when I first got into day trading, they were like, oh, that's not something you should do. You should probably just stick to the normal, go to college, do the normal things in life, go get a job, all that type of stuff, right? Entrepreneurship, that's going to be harder than you think. You probably shouldn't go there. It's a little too risky. Don't do that. Even like certain tastes that I like, people are starting to enjoy it now. So like me personally, what in the world? Me personally, I'm starting to, my favorite artist is DaBaby, so for a while people's like, oh, he's not that good, he's gonna fall off, he's gonna get canceled, and now they're like, man, DaBaby's kind of good, like he's kind of solid, or watching these certain movie series is not really good, or a Spider-Man, Spider-Man is actually the best Marvel character in the MCU, outside of Iron Man, but people typically will follow your lead after you just stay with what you like. I don't really know until you prove them wrong. Let me say it like that, and the thing is that like I'm sitting here and I'm kind of just contemplating and thinking about how a lot of people in life, they try to follow the trends of a lot of other people. Okay, you like this, so I'm gonna like it too. You like this, so I'm gonna do what you do. You have these habits, so I'm gonna do what those habits are. But you got to learn how to just be your own person, how to just be able to stand and live in your own skin, because eventually those people, especially if you're doing the right thing, will circle back to you. But if you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna follow the crowd, I'm gonna do what everyone else is doing, they're smoking, they're drinking, they have these certain likes, they have these certain hobbies, they have these certain things that they do, then that's where you're going to end up finding yourself in. But you can't be doing that, man. You got to be your own man. You got to have your own standards, have your own likes, have your own dislikes, and be able to just move from there. Many of the times people in the world, they want to be accepted. So for you to feel accepted, for you to feel like you're enough, for you to feel like you're doing enough, you typically try to do what everyone else is doing, but that's not where God has called you to be. That's not where God has put you in this season for you to do. You're supposed to just be your own person, just be you. Because people will love the real you. And you'll get tired of being like everybody else. Eventually you'll get tired of trying to fit into everyone else's standards and everyone else's norms, because it doesn't align with actually who you are. Or you're growing up and you're becoming all these different people with all these different personalities, and now you're just a mesh of all these different 20 people that you came across. These 15 people that you went to school with, and now 3 close friends, you're like, man, they like this, they did these things, and now this is what I do. And then a lot of people, they don't even have the greatest habits. So you're sitting there trying to adjust to all these norms and adjust to all these standards, and it's not going to put you where you need to be at, because you're sitting there and you're trying to figure out, what do I need to do to be able to be accepted? And because there's so many different people and there's so many different groups in the world, someone's going to accept you, but someone's going to accept you as you are, not accept the person of 20 different people in one. That's a decision that you got to make, though. Do I want to be like everybody else? Do I want to be like the normal? Or do I want to be me? Because if you want to be you, then you just stick to doing what you do. If people, for a while, like I told you, I had people telling me, this entrepreneurship thing is going to be a journey. You probably don't want to do that. It's going to take a lot longer than you think to even see results. Day trading, is that a real thing? Can you really make money off of that? Starting a business, what if you don't get a lot of sales? Can you depend on day trading for that to cover what you need to cover? Listening to certain music artists and certain like entertainment things that I like. That's not really a good series. You probably should listen to this other person. Here's a better recommendation. Hey man, I hear you, but I'm just gonna stick with what I like, because what you like is not what I like. We just got different tastes, and sometimes you just gotta be okay with that. But at the end of the day, you're figuring out your own person, and you're figuring out who you are. It's just simple like that, y'all. Simple like that. This is one of them car drives type of moments, man. I'm just, you ever sit here in silence and you just start thinking? And I was just thinking about how far I've come from where I started 5 years ago when I started the whole day trading journey. And I literally started, I guess, 6 years ago, when Corona was around and losing my job, and very curious where I would be at if Corona didn't happen. And I wouldn't have opened my eyes to entrepreneurship and business. I would have probably been like everyone else. Well, I could get into that, but I think I'm just stick to learning about how to make pizzas. I'm going to talk about how to become a 9-to-5 worker. I might try these different other things, but I'd rather work for somebody than work for myself, and you just got to take that risk. That's life, that's life anyway. Me recording this video, driving, is a risk. Me driving even without recording is a risk. You know what I'm saying? Me leaving the house to do whatever I'm doing is a risk. I think life is literally full of risk, but people don't see it like that. People see it as the risk of losing money or risk of damaging your health is the only risk that you can go through. When something happens that can be super traumatic or super negative, then it's a risk. So if I lose my job, right? If I go broke, if I lose my house, if I break something in my body physically, playing sports, then it's a risk. But until then you just see it as everything's safe, everything's fine. Life is a risk in general, man. You're risking working for 40 years, 30 to 40 years at a job you don't even like, or maybe you do, to get paid that's not even going to be able to be sustainable after you finish working there. Especially if you don't have the right tools to actually put you in a position to where you can still be making money after you retire. But yet, you're like, you know what, I'm going to stick with the norm. Everyone else is kind of doing it. It's the comfortable route. I'm just going to stay here. Nah, man. I'm going to be a young CEO, successful entrepreneur, successful day trader, consistent day trader. And that's what I told myself that I was going to be. And now here I am. Able to do what I want when I want to, man. That's the decision you have to make. You can't be like everybody else. But yet, you're comfortable with that. So you say, I'm just going to be like the mold of 15 people because that's the people I grew up around. I'm going to be like the 3 close friends that I'm around because they like to do stuff and I'm just going to do it with them. Be your own person. Simple. So, that being said, y'all, appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Making it this far in the video. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Follow me on Instagram, King Malone. And comment what you guys think, man. What do you guys think? I love to hear y'all's experience, man. Do you feel like you're a blend of multiple people? Or do you feel like you've always been the oddball to be able to stand out and be yourself? Let me know what you guys think. That being said, though, I will catch y'all in the next video. I'm gone.